Suns fans. Suns drop another lowly loss to the Orlando Magic this time, as we are now 9-6 on the season. The Suns lose 99 to 109. Getting really sick of this, and I bet you are too. These nights of not being able to compete. The Suns once again put a pretty rough game to sit through once again for us Suns fans here, as if you know ball, Suns just can't simply compete right now. On our injury report, we had 3 of our players from our starting lineup out. That being Yusuf Nurkic, KD is still out, and Bradley Beal. Without those 3 important players to the Suns starting lineup, it's another rough night. Tonight's battlefield was surprisingly a defensive one. The Orlando came in today's game. I didn't even know this, but they came in today being apparently one of the highest ranked defense in the league. It just became like another thing because like Suns games have been really tough recently. So just going from the big 3 in Sacramento, this weird whatever the Timberwolves are, to now a defensive headed Orlando team. It's getting tiring at this point. I'm sick of these games where we can't have a chance at winning. I exaggerate a little right there, because we always have a chance at winning. We had a chance to win yesterday's game, then we dropped that one. We had a chance to win tonight's game, even though we got blasted by the Magic. They only held a 19-point lead, which then we were able to bring to 10 in the final 5 minutes of this game. There's a reason I put an emphasis on this game being a battlefield defensively. It's because the Suns couldn't get a stop. They couldn't get anything out there. The Orlando Magic was just too dominant in the paint for us. Again, we struggle with interior defense and just defense in general tonight. And the Orlando Magic ended up shooting 51.3% from the paint this entire game. It was pretty hard getting a stop, especially when we really needed it. We drop another one without KD. So this now makes it 1-5 since KD has been injured. It's actually felt like years since I've seen what basketball is supposed to actually be. Like, I forgot Bradley Beal was on this team. That's crazy. And this team's just really missing the impact and the effects of KD. It's just without KD, it's hard to contend with this team. Hopefully he comes back. And if not, by next game, which is on Wednesday against the New York Knicks, it's going to be another scary game if we don't have our starters. The schedule's brutal. We can't catch a break, man. So getting back to the game here, pretty mixed lineup. We're still testing with lineup. So Nurkic played last game, but now he's back to being out on the injury report. So now someone's got to take up his mantle. And last game, we saw a really interesting lineup that Coach Bud threw out there. This kind of like replicated what Minnesota was doing. We had Plumlee and Nurkic out there. Really interesting lineup, but it actually proved out to be really good, as it allowed Booker to get a lot of open shots. So we tried replicating that this game, but since there's no Nurkic, we got to see Oso. Oso got his first official start of the season as being the Suns' rookie tonight, and he did amazing. This has been the Oso stretch of games. Again, it's just nice seeing our rookies' development. Oso, amazing. Despite the loss, he still looked good because he had 2 emphatic dunks out there.
Percent shooting from the field. Jones, bounce feed. Oso!
They just bring energy out there. So specifically in this stretch, Ryan Dunn, we'll get a little more into him, but just to finish out my tangent about Oso here. He had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. So he's still getting better on his defensive side, but he held his own tonight. He wasn't a total liability out there, which is crazy, seeing how much they learn and pick up out there. So amazing effort from Oso. Now let's switch to his twin on the other side and talk about Ryan Dunn here. Ryan Dunn has had a pretty lackluster couple of last games, and tonight was also kind of lackluster. He had 5 points, 104 from 3. He had 6 rebounds, he's been kind of over these last couple of games. Definitely not comparable to the start that Ryan Dunn has had to this season. And that's fine. Even professional players, the stars of this league, have their slumps. But honestly, I think why we could be seeing this Ryan Dunn weird stretch of time is because we're forcing him to do a lot more than what he was brought here to do. I think he worked really well during the beginning stretch of this season, mostly because he was a 3-and-D guy. The 3-and-D archetype. Just switch threes, fill in the gaps whenever we asked him to cut, and bring that defense. That was his role on this 9-1 start to the season. But because of injuries and Ryan Dunn having to step in for KD, that's some big shoes to fill and a lot to ask from your rookie. So I could definitely see why Ryan Dunn has had a slower stretch to this 6 games without KD. So hopefully we'll see Ryan Dunn bounce back once we start getting our players back from the injury pits. For now, Ryan Dunn's doing a fine enough job. I mean, not really fine because we're not winning games, but he's trying to do the best he can to like fill the shoes. But hopefully we'll get that amazing start to the season Ryan Dunn back once we get KD back. Okay, so the rookies, both of them got the start for tonight. So that was really interesting to see, and they played well off of each other. This is really interesting because now we have to talk about Book again. I'm not wearing my Book jersey tonight, and honestly, when you're facing the number 1 defense, Orlando Magic, it's pretty hard to get up a shot if your name is Book. Okay, he was 5 of 14, and I honestly think that Book's had it rough, man, these past couple of games. I know I was singing a different tune and he needs to step up to be a scorer. He's trying, but what can you do against a triple team? I believe he actually said it like after the OKC game. He's like, I left those days behind of fighting over double and triple teams, which I don't really know how to respond to that. But I mean, the dude's getting old and I don't want him injured. The last thing we need on this team is an injured Book. So I'll give him that. You think things are worse now? Try this team without our big 3. Orlando did ease up on the defense in the 4th, and that's kind of what led the Suns to a big 4th quarter effort. We ended up outscoring the Magic 31-25 in the 4th quarter. Although it was great, a big answer, and definitely what this game needed from it being a huge blowout, but still well shy of what we needed to do to win this game. But rough night, 17 points, just perfect from free throw line. That's great. It's kind of refreshing from that standpoint because, boy, this team misses a lot of crucial free throws, by the way. And when we do get foul calls, oh no. I don't know if you guys seen this, if you guys keep up that much with the Suns on Twitter, but if you do, if you even dip your toes into that, you would have noticed that the NBA has released a ref report of yesterday's game winner. You know, the one where Josh Okogie flopped? Well, that one, they did look over it, and it was deemed the correct call. But they also missed the call a couple seconds before of a travel. Julius Randle traveled in that final play. So my kind of question is, what's going to be done? Where's the justice in the NBA? Because we know that's a game we're just not going to get back now. It's still on the fault of the Suns because we had 3 chances to score during that last little bit. But come on, man, these refs, dude. And the refs were, again, pretty awful tonight. We've also seen a weird stretch of Bud like mismanaging his challenges. Last game against Minnesota, he challenged at like a pretty bad time. Therefore, we lost the ability to challenge, and that would have been very crucial during the last moments of the game. And in this game, we kind of wasted our challenge a little too early as well, as we could have definitely challenged some calls later on that would have helped us swing momentum in the 4th when we really needed it. But, I mean, Book really took over in the 4th. That's because Orlando faded with their defense. It just looked like they came out pretty careless. But they were just so easily scoring in the inside paint that it really didn't matter because they always had an answer for when we answered. Still, a rough night for Book. I'm tempted to say he's still here. He needs KD in there. Someone to give him space. Someone needs to help our man out there. Okay? Who's going out there? I'm not going out there. Someone needs to go out there. Okay? Anyway, Tyus Jones ended up being the game's leading scorer as he went off. He got all those 18 points in the first half and then faded for the rest of this game. And he had 8 assists. So, I mean, Tyus Jones, still amazing. Still like what he does on this team. Just still pretty mixed. And lastly, for our starting lineup discussion here, Mason Plumlee had an alright night. 8 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. He actually had a really, really good play. There's a specific play I'd like to bring up here that I found interesting. So picture this with me. The play starts with Book. Book gets naturally double teamed. He tosses out of the double team.
Now Booker with Suggs draped all over him.
Into Oso. He's sitting at the top of the key, free throw line, right? And then in comes Mason Plumlee, running baseline, cut into the basket, and Oso uses his nice passing skill, bounces it to Mason Plumlee, dunk.
Nice pass to Plumlee, over the back, he tucks it.
That was a good play. That was the only time that the Suns decided to play good basketball for a second.
Now Booker with Suggs draped all over him. To Iguodala into paint. Nice pass to Plumlee. Over the back. He tucks it.
And then the rest of the game happened. I miss seeing this team just compete. It's almost like losing your magic. You know? The color just fades everywhere. Food tastes less good. But let's get into this bench here. Another streaky night for our buddy Royce O'Neal. Again, I think my logic about Ryan Dunn here being stretched into different roles could also be maybe applied to here about Royce O'Neal, but I'm not too sure about that, as he did start one time. But other than that, he's just been like a sixth man for the rest of these nights. He's still very streaky. I don't know if he's just tired or what. It's been pretty rough for him to find any open shots out there. He was 0-5 from the 3-point line, 1 of 8. He had only 2 points and 7 rebounds. Just another bad night. But Josh Okogie, another great night. 11 points. He was 2-2 on his threes. He might actually be back, people. This might be the run. The Josh Sanity, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 11 points. I mean, how many games does Josh Okogie have to have for him to be not a surprise anymore? That he's just good, you know? And that's a question to all you Suns fans. How many good games of Josh Okogie do you need to see until he's just considered good in our mind? Because I'm still a little shaky after him last year, and just the absolute fall off from being a starter from the beginning of last season to barely seeing minutes in the postseason, being like trash minutes. So, I mean, Josh Okogie, he's been amazing. We gave him that huge raise, unnecessary raise, if you ask me, in the offseason. So maybe he's earning it. So Josh Okogie, just been amazing. Maybe he's bumping up his trade value. I'd like to trade him if he continues playing like this until trade deadline. That's a really nice trade option. Okay, you know, he's raising up his stats. A good option to ship him off and get some like more defensive guys on this team, because that's what this team is missing. Defense. Like I've been saying, and probably most other Suns talkers, is that the Suns are really like one good trade away from being that championship contender. I could feel it. So anyway, enough talking about Josh Okogie. Grayson Allen, also a great, amazing night. There might be some Suns fans out there that aren't that high on Grayson Allen, but like once you look at the numbers, he followed up last night's 18-point efforts off the bench with a 17-point effort tonight. He has some crazy threes out there. He was 4 of 9 from 3. He had 4 rebounds and assists, although he did have 2 turnovers. Grayson Allen, another great effort. That's all that needs to be said about that. Monte Morris got some action tonight. Really worked on that floater action. He was pretty necessary in trying to keep this game competitive. So that was nice. Now here's an unexpected one for ya. Bol didn't appear in trash minutes because there was no trash minutes this game. But he did appear in the first half. He started the second quarter. Bol played 6 minutes tonight, and he generated 1 point. This would have been a 98 victory. Sit on that, Suns fans. How do you like that? Let's be thankful us Suns fans have Bol. This would have been an 11-point loss if it weren't for Bowl. Mic dropped. All right. Well, Suns still sit at the fifth seed mark. Now 9-6. It is crazy going for 8-1 and then dropping to 1-5 in the last couple of games. The Suns are now officially 5-5 in their last 10 games. Meanwhile, everyone in the freaking 1-6 seed are either 7-3 or 6-4 or Golden State Warriors 8-2. That is disgusting. We just need something to go our way, man. We need a hero. And once we get that good win, we're gonna be up here. Honestly, that Timberwolves game last night, that was so bogus. Took some win out of the sails. We could have had at least one good victory in this time without KD, but we didn't, and we've become more than a footnote in the West. Tough life being a Suns fan. We got to see his Suns City Edition. Pretty nice. I do dig the idea and the vibe around it. The court is cool. We've got some nice jerseys. It's a shame we're only going to wear them 9 more times, though. That is crazy. What was the point of making them if we're only going to have 9 more attempts with them? But hopefully, let's pray for some good news on KD. And let's get back to winning, like the NBA was made for. That's it from me. Remember, if you like what we're doing here, please like, comment, subscribe. What do you think about the Suns so far this season? And yeah, have a good night and Suns up.